I'm trying to wave without shaking the whole camera. Hi friends! I'm in Porto in Portugal this week. Chris and Sully and I were in Spain, in Madrid, to film a Domestica e-course. We decided to tack a little family vacation on the end. This is actually the first time we've traveled just the three of us, not to see family, nothing like that, just because of COVID and if you really travel with a newborn. We're hanging out in Porto for the week. We've got a little apartment. So I'm gonna show you a little bit around my Airbnb. We're gonna sit at the table and I'm gonna do a little painting. Just get creative because it feels good to get a little bit creative. Sully's actually napping. I should probably be napping too. It's 4 p.m. Sully's definitely on a different schedule here. He'll hang out on the patio at a restaurant with us into the late hours, until 10 o'clock or something. So yeah, we're all kind of taking a siesta, but I'm not gonna siesta. I'm gonna paint something and I wanna take you along with me. So I am working in my sketchbook from Etcher. It's called the Perfect Sketchbook. It's got really nice hot pressed paper. And then I just kind of have all my stuff that I had brought with me for my Domestica course. So that was shot in Madrid in Spain. And now Chris and Sully and I are in beautiful Porto in Portugal. So I am just gonna work with what's here. Sully's napping. So I'll probably sound a little quiet, a little timid, I'm terrified to wake him up, just like that. So we're just gonna do something really fun and just relaxing. I'm gonna relax a little while the baby sleeps. Traveling with toddlers is no joke, you guys. It's no joke. It's not for the faint of heart. I know that he's probably going through a lot because sometimes when you're traveling, you're cold for a while or you're tired or you're, and to him, it's not worth it. He's every time we get on a bus or a plane or a train, he's are we going home? He's so excited to just get out of here. Get back where all the toys are. Anyway, so this is some of the stuff I traveled with to shoot my Domestica e-course in Madrid. My messy palette. They did not like my messy palette. But this is my messy palette. And it came all the way to Spain with me. And now it's in Portugal. And I'm basically just using some of the paint that's on there. I've got a tin of water here and one brush. And I'm just painting some messy shapes. And then we will just turn them into flowers later. We don't have to worry about them looking like flowers right now. You can play around a little and have a bit of fun. Do a little wet into wet. Muss it up a little, ooh. Put some little dots of color. What I want to do is a little mixed media piece. So I'll just start with the watercolor and then afterwards I can layer on some markers. I would love to do a bit of pencil crayon or colored pencil. Now I forgot my colored pencils in the room where Sully is napping, so I don't know if it's worth it. All the parents are it's not worth it, don't do it. So we might just have to get along with just markers, that's okay. I'm kind of picturing this as a hydrangea or a lilac. So I did kind of these messy conical shapes, and then I'm putting some little greeny bits in here. I don't know. This is very much just play. This is just for me to do a little bit of painting while Sully naps, just to relax. Traveling, I do find myself more tired. I think just because you're doing so much that's new and around every corner. There's something maybe unexpected or just having to just run out to get baby wipes. You don't really know where you're going and you're not quite sure who's selling baby wipes. Every little thing is just a little bit extra. It takes a little extra out of you, I think. So even though my body is just go lie down with Sully, I know I'll just end up staring at my phone instead of sleeping. That's not actually that restful. And a little me time sitting here listening to the sounds of the street, I think that's so much more restorative. Restorative, that's what I'm looking for. I don't actually need a nap. Well, maybe I do need a nap. You can kind of see my palette here. I've got some red and some magenta and like a pale rose blush. So maybe you know what I really want is like a little bit of a deeper magenta, burgundy almost. I could use a little of that magenta and maybe, there we go. That's giving a more bold color. And then I just rinse my brush, and with a wet, clean brush, I just kind of guide that paint out and let the color kind of seep into the wet area. So we're just getting very playful today. Yeah, I think that looks really cool. Now that I have this dark pink, I could even like go like that or something. Just doing some kind of long brush strokes so that it'll give sort of a natural coloration to this flower. That's pretty. And then I know I'm going to want to put some color at the center of this flower. So what I'm gonna do now is just lift. Take a damp, clean brush and just keep blotting it. You know, you soak up a little bit and then you blot. And then we can always run that color back towards the center. Pull from here and put it down here. Pull from that dark part and put it down here at the light part. There. And now when I go to add some yellow or brown or whatever color I want to use at the center, I've got the space to do it. Let's just do some more brush marks over here too. I put down some messy marks, then I rinsed my brush, come back with clean, damp brush. And I want some lighter flowers, so maybe I'll just grab a little bit of white. I've got lots of white gouache here. This is Winsor & Newton gouache, and I will link it in the description, as I always do. I always try to link all of my supplies so that you can use exactly what I'm using if you want to. This is one of those projects that you could do with watercolor. You can do it with gouache. You could do this with marker first and then add the colored pencil on top. If your colored pencils are not held hostage by a sleeping toddler, then you can use them. I need a little more brown in there, I think. Got some brown over here. Brown plus a little bit of white plus maybe a little bit of this purple is going to give me like a nice gray color, like a creamy beige is what I always call it. And that can be really, really nice for painting white flowers. Ooh, I like how that green just swam over there into that section. This is fun. It's so beautiful here. It's sunny. It's probably 16 to 18 degrees today. And I think there's something when you're Canadian and you do a really long winter, sometimes going away at this time of year, it can just help remind you that spring will come again, that it's not going to be winter forever. So it makes you even feel better about the weather at home. I'm adding a few more leaves or just messy leaf shapes. You can get quite loose with all of the shapes, especially the leaves. Going to have some stem shapes over here. I like that. We'll put a little hint of green up there just to show that, you know, there are leaves and little branches peeking out back there. You don't actually have to paint anything. You can just paint a little hint at the idea of a little stem back there. And then you can see I've kind of left some space in the middle here, and that is just so I can put another few flowers. Let's just see what kind of color I get if I just kind of grab from the middle here. That works for me. Gonna add a little bit more yellow. Bit messy, but I think I'll make it work. There, it's really just random messy shapes. I'm sure you can see that. It's quite messy right now, but that is okay. But that is okay because this has been really nice and enjoyable, and I still have a hot tea that I need to finish. So let's give it, probably 7 or 8 minutes. It'll be totally dry, and then we can come back in with some colored pencil and marker. Okay guys, it's been about 10 minutes. You can always check to see if it's dry by feeling the back of the paper. I can see that there's one wet spot there, but honestly, I think it'll be okay. Okay, Operation Colored Pencil. I snuck into Sully's room. I was so stealthy. Let's just put these guys over here. I know I would like to use a couple of them. I've also closed the window because the street sounds were lovely, but they were mostly just jackhammers, just like people yelling. So let's get started. Let's do a little marker. Okay, I want to give this guy a middle. You know, I really want you to feel like this is doable. Remember, if you don't have gouache, we watered the gouache down so much so that it's almost totally transparent in some areas. So we're using it really a lot like watercolor. And all we've painted is blobs. It's quite messy, and I love that. And now we are going to give it some structure. And the beautiful thing is that, Like I know for me, I think I'll always be more confident with a pencil or pen in hand than I will with a paintbrush. I think that's true for a lot of us. And so for us to add, you know, a little more detail, especially delicate detail or precise detail, it's easier in pen or marker. So for me, this makes this project really relaxing and chill. And that's exactly what we need when we're looking for that restorative time. So I just did a cluster of dots and lines, and then and that was with like a dark yellow. And then I'm gonna come back in and kind of go over some of it with this light brown. That's the lid color there. Just again, if you find me a little quiet, it's because I'm terrified to wake up my toddler. Okay, I hope that's relatable. All right, for this guy over here, I want to do some petals, and they're kind of following the same shape as the rest of the flower. There we go. And then we could do like a few little lines out here. Yeah, I think that's kind of pretty. Maybe for this guy, actually, I think I'm going to use colored pencil for the middle of that one. What do we do? What do we do? Let's try taking this one, which is sort of a light periwinkle, and I just want to do like some floral shapes. Just random banging. I know someone's going to comment, speak up, like I'm scared of my 2-year-old. Okay. Just need you guys to know that. We're having a really fun trip, but it is also a huge challenge to travel with a little person. Just without that routine. And we were staying in a hotel in Madrid. Now we are in this beautiful Airbnb, and I think that's a lot easier because you can have, you know, we've got 2 rooms. We could put Sully to bed and then like hang out here and do a video. So it's just having that space and having a little bit more routine. Routine is so key. And the sad thing is, like, when you are traveling, you kind of don't want routine. You're like ready to break out of that and like stay up all night and eat tapas. And then when you're traveling with a toddler, it's like, oh no, 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 no. You get to keep your routine. Okay, I'm just kind of like using the Copic to do like hint at flowers. And I think the best way to do it is to do that big wide brush stroke, but then also a few of these little lines. That kind of looks like little tiny flower petals, I think. Like angled flower petals. Anyway, you can see things are starting to come together a little bit more. So let's continue. What do I want? What do I want? Actually, okay, first things first, I'm going to do like a few lines on some of these leaves, just sort of down the center. You know, you could darken it up a little. Yeah, you don't need to do all of them either. That's a problem that I have, is like, oh, I put one nice line and I really like the way it looks, so I'm gonna go around and do it on everything. And then there's never a benefit to that, I don't think. It's just me like kind of craving symmetry that doesn't actually benefit the piece of art. I've been thinking a lot lately about how sometimes less is more, and you have to pull back a little bit in order to create something that's really interesting. And yeah, that is definitely hard for me. Okay. So now what I'm trying to do is sketch in a few petals, just using my colored pencil crayon, colored pencil. But do I need to sketch in this one and this one? Like, I don't think so. And that is what I'm working on. Might just do some really dark shading in some parts. I really love a good like scribbly moment. Yeah, that's cool. I like how the really dark contrasts really beautifully. There. Okay. Let's put that one back. And I'm thinking maybe like a dark red up here would look good on this one. And this one, I want to draw in some thin, smaller petals, you know, but I do think it's going to require a center. So let's do that center that's kind of just like dots and scribbles. I think the touch of the brush is so important with this one. It's like you're just like doing all these little quick, like very free motions. That's cool. And then we'll come over here. Maybe do some lines to show, you know, the texture of the petal. There we go. And then I wonder if I need any more. I love just doing a little bit. And for me anyway, I'm really practicing doing less. So maybe I could benefit from doing a couple more, maybe not. For me, just since that's what I'm working on right now, I'm going to leave it alone. And then I'm gonna grab like a purpley blue. And I wanna come over here and just do like some really messy, little cute, you see what I mean? Can't even talk. You see what I mean. Some cute little, like almost like graphics of a flower. Very cutesy 4-petal flowers. The type of flowers a kid would draw. That's what I'm gonna draw over here. And I think that's going to give this a really nice look. Whether it's a lilac or a hydrangea, I don't know. I don't need to know. And we'll do some over here too. I love that we started with gouache and then we layered in some marker and then some more marker, and now we're doing pencil. Ooh, I like that too. Maybe if I wouldn't have made them so big and so graphic, maybe if they were, let's switch colors. Maybe if they were smaller and like really cutesy like that, like little heart shapes. That's kind of cute. I mean, I'm not mad at the combination either. Having the both of them there is quite pretty. Put some little random dots. There. See, I think I might have done too much. I liked it, and then I was like, let me put them all over. Whereas when I pull back and do a little bit less, like over here, it's just like, it is stronger. I think it's just stronger when I do a little bit less. She said as she added more, but I think in here where it's very shadowy, I do need, I do need to continue. Okay, let's add a little bit more down here and then we'll just see where we're at. Let me pull like a dark green because I definitely want to do some lines on some of these flowers. I mean, some of these leaves. And then you don't have to use all green either. I love the way a dark blue or purple looks to add some detail on some of these. There, that's cool. Okay, I think we're almost done with this, which is awesome because if Sully wakes up now, I can still finish it. If anyone's like, oh, why don't you just come, why don't you say like, come sit with mommy and paint? I would love that. And I really hope we get there someday. Right now, it would be like, why don't you come sit with mommy and throw all my materials on the floor? We're just at that stage of toddler where it's like, I want to do maximum damage. I mean, I respect it. That sounds fun. Let's do some messy petal shapes. I think that's kind of cool. Just for the sake of this one that's kind of like hidden, I'm gonna make it the same as this one so that you, even though you only see part of it, you kind of recognize that center and you sort of know what you're looking at. I'm not going to draw any of the petals. And then this guy over here, I'll actually make a little bit different. Maybe red? Like a pretty red could really, yeah, I love how that looks. And I'm just gonna do all these teardrop shapes. Leave a little negative space, do some more teardrops. I like that. I'm tempted to just leave it, but just for the sake of like making good content that gives you some fodder for your own creations and for the imagination, let's draw in some petals. Yeah, that's kind of cool. So I made one a bit shorter, and we could come over here and like have, you know, kind of hint at another one there. I love it. This guy still needs to be joined to something, but it doesn't necessarily need to be green, does it? So let's keep using the red. Just going to carry that color over here because I like to do a little bit of repeating. Bring that down in here because it kind of looks like then like it's flowing through. Yeah, I like that. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but Sully does like a little grumble, and he does it to soothe himself. So he'll do it a lot like when he's falling asleep or waking up. It's something that I think babies do, but he's 2.5. He's going to be 3 in May, and he hasn't stopped, which I'm not worried about or anything, but I'm just curious if anybody else has little ones that have continued to grumble. There we go. Okay, so this guy still needs a center. And what did I say that I would do it probably with colored pencil? I'm looking for like an orangey light brown. And I'm just gonna draw a bunch of like little circles. Kind of just ended up scribbling a whole bunch, which is fine, I think. I might add to this guy's middle as well. Just, you know, add some of those little circles and teardrop shapes, just 'cause. This was fun. This was just one of those pieces where you just dive in and you just play. And you get to lose yourself in it a little bit, which is the best. I just feel like I need a bit of this color in here somewhere. That works. Weirdly tiny flower up there. I should probably stop before I get weird. Okay, let me just... sign it. And that's it, friends. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today in my little Airbnb apartment in Porto, Portugal. I'm so glad these more casual videos make it possible for me to kind of bring you along with me everywhere I go, and that is really cool. And I hope you'll give this one a try. It really is one of those ones that you can do even when you're exhausted and all you want to do is stare at your phone. But actually, if you have, 20, 30 minutes, you can make something that's really beautiful and that makes you feel good and hopefully restored and relaxed and creative and all those good things. Okay, bye guys.